that doesn't pick up the background, because that would be really awkward if it did. Hello, this is Dry Oasis. I'm your host. And these two, as always, are my two co-hosts, Kirby and Sterlex. Say hello, Kirby and Sterlex. Oh, hi-ho. And I hope that you've had a great day so far. And if not, if the rest of your day is better or tomorrow is better for you. Anyways, let's get on to the gameplay. Let's see here. Friends online. I have a friend online. Okay, let's see here. So yeah, playing more investigations. There's attorney investigations 2, prosecutors, Gambit. Almost a path there, but there's the big building there. A lot of stuff happens. A murder. K getting amnesia. K, let's see here, a conspiracy of the PIC trying to frame K Faraday at all costs. And yeah. And Verity Gavel, just doing her stuff. Community's view of the case. Miss Ringer attended the auction as a potential buyer. The red raincoat was one of the items up for sale. So our assumption is that after winning and paying for it, she left the auction with her purchase. The only exit from the storeroom was, of course, that leading up onto the roof. After she emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday. Shortly thereafter, her flame went out, and thus concludes the committee's view of the case. The raincoat was unoffered that night. Is that really true? We believe so, yes. You remember the failed assassination attempt on the president of Scene 5, I assume. The raincoat is a piece of evidence from that case. It should, of course, have remained safely under lock and key in the appropriate facility. But our inquiries revealed that it did, in fact, go missing under mysterious circumstances. And wound up in the auction along with everything else. That makes sense, I suppose. Wonderful work, Verity. Just wonderful. Crystal clear as ever. You flatter me, sir. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, perhaps you could save us all some time and simply admit defeat? I'll do no such thing, thank you very much. Very well. It's good to know that you still have some fight in you. It is? Why? Come to think of it, she said some strange things when she visited me this morning, too. What exactly is she up to? That's true. Interesting. Why did she leave so soon after making her purchase? Because of the auction house rules. Winning bidders are expected to pay for their items immediately. Miss Hartotal's pretty much the same thing. Miss Ringer, having paid for the red raincoat, probably left immediately afterwards in accordance with the rules. But why? What possible motive could Kay have had? That is exactly what we are hoping to establish in our upcoming interviews with Miss Faraday. Coercive interrogation after the fact. Something you seem to specialize in. If the murderer knew that the attendees would all be leaving via the hatch, then the roof would have been the perfect place to lie in wait. So as I was saying, after she emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked. her flame went out. The flame of her life, Mr. Edgeworth, though perhaps her flame was stolen from her, is more apt. Right, now I have that flame song from Sonic in my head. I forgot how it went. Objection! But the candelabrum that extinguished her life was one of the auction lots. Meaning Kay had no way of getting a hold of it to begin with. Overruled. Miss Faraday could not have lain in wait for the victim without knowing of the storeroom's existence. She could easily have snuck down the letter and stolen it while the auction was underway. If only we knew where the candle holder was during the auction. That would surely clear the matter up now. Well, either of you? Sadly, we don't have anything that could tell us much on that front at the moment. Forgive me, sir. This is something we were hoping to establish through further investigation. Well, isn't that a shame, Miles, my boy? It seems this line of inquiry is something of a dead end, then, Isn't it? So their theory is that the victim and her killer met on the roof, and that's where the murder took place. In other words, it assumes the viewing platform was the scene of the crime. But is that really the case? I thought it had evidence that clearly shows the story of what happened that night. Time to double check. Nope. 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 Okay. I should have pressed there. Maybe you can clear something up for me, Judge Cavell. But what is Miss Hart doing here at this hearing? She's an eyewitness. I thought it would be obvious. Well now, I ain't really an eyewitness. More of an ear witness, I guess. She's not exactly the most confidence-inspiring choice to help you make your case, is she? I'd like to think I chose my allies a little more carefully than you, Mr. Edgeworth. Then you should question them more thoroughly, because there's something she hasn't told you. Take a look at this photograph. Every time it makes me laugh. What the heck is on that guy's head? It's a raincoat. Okay, you got me. Yes, in the storeroom, correct? What of it? According to your theory, the murderer occurred up on the roof. But according to Miss Hart's testimony, she happened to witness the entire incident unfold in the storeroom. Just before she took this picture. Wait, you're saying Gavelle got it wrong. That's exactly what I'm saying. What? Miss Hart, if I may confirm your account of the events you witnessed that night. You saw the person in the picture, correct? I sure did, clear as day, and with my own 2 eyes to boot. And what were your impressions at that point? My impressions? This right here is the scoop of the century. Something like that? Yeah, that makes sense. I was hoping for more of your impressions of the person in question. Oh, that there's a walking meal ticket? Seriously? Just my little joke. No need to look at me like I done said on your lunch. Oh, little raincoat, right? Why, I took one look and I thought that's her perp right there. And they're a nice rub for Miss Hart to have thought such a thing. Yeah. The murder could. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, when will you learn to use your words? If it's an explanation of the facts that you require, you only need to ask. You need only ask, you know. Yep. What do you mean? I assume you're about to raise the issue of the voices Miss Hart heard. Voices that may be unrelated? Objection! Unrelated? You can do better than that. Was one of the voices Miss Hart heard really even Miss Ringer's? You know, and hold on a moment. There's something I need to do. Ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Let's see your timers. Let's see here. Here's that. There's a bunch of random stuff. Alright, moving on. Was one of the voices Miss Hart heard really even Miss Ringer's? You're kidding me, right? Them folks was talking crime-related turkey, or my name ain't Lotta Ding Tart. Ah, but did you hear them clearly? Well, can't really say for sure, but yeah, I can't really say nothing, and you know it. They was using voice changers. I done told y'all that. Precisely. Miss Hart heard voices, but those voices were disguised. Which means we cannot even be certain that whether she did overhear had anything. Which means we cannot be certain that whatever she did overhear had anything to do with the murder. Objection! You don't need to yell objection in order to sigh at me, Mr. Edgeworth. Seems I overestimated you, Judge Cavell. Nonsense! Fruity's the best of us, my boy. The very best. And yet she believes that what Miss Hart heard might not have anything to do with the murder? Even supposing that's the case, it doesn't prove the murder didn't happen in the storeroom. The incident happened before the victim was able to go up to the roof. That much we can say for certain. And I can tell you why. We initially thought that the person in the red raincoat was the culprit. Yes, because Miss Hart said as much. Indeed, she told us about the blood she saw in this person's hand. And I doubt many people would have thought differently given her testimony. Ergo, if this person is a killer, then the blood we see would have come from when they attacked the victim. But knowing what we know now, that this person is in fact the victim, it recontextualizes everything. The president says the blood still shows that the picture was taken after the attack. But now it tells us something very important about the victim too. This picture tells us that the victim... There's no doubt in my mind that the victim was attacked in the storeroom. But here we have photographic evidence of her standing upright into life, albeit with a bloody hand. This can only mean that Miss Ringer survived the attack. The blood on her hand is from the wounds she had sustained. What are you talking about? Who dies from a hand wound? The wound was on her hand, Mr. Winter. Imagine she had used her hand to try to staunch a wound. That's right. While it's impossible to tell from this angle, the victim was already mortally wounded here. Oh, well that certainly would change things, wouldn't it? It very much would. Not least by making it absurd to suggest that Kay was the attacker. Her encounter with the victim happened after this picture had been taken. After the victim had already been attacked and was in critical condition. I put it to you that all Kay witnessed was the victim finally succumbing to her wounds. That would have been quite the coincidence. It's a textbook case of wrong place, wrong time, I'd say. You seem to be forgetting a rather important fact, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, that or pretending not to remember it. What? What fact am I forgetting? I think it's time to wrap things up, don't you, Verity? Put the boy out of his misery. Dad, Gavel works for me. Why do you keep giving her orders? That's my job. You really are a total and utter embarrassment. I am not R2. Am not R2. Am not. Would you both please shut it? I hate to break it to you, but both of you are. Go to it, Gavel. Put Edgeworth out of his misery. As you wish. Why do you have to work with these morons? Even I ask myself these days. What you're forgetting. Miss Ringer's body was found with 3 wounds in her chest. And we all know what those wounds are from, don't we? That's right. They're from when she was stabbed in the chest by a 3-armed candelabrum. I doubt anybody could survive such grave wounds. If you care to read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your tune. Nicely done, Gavel. Now, Edgeworth, we will have to make several objections. Yes, I'm afraid I will. What? Why? Weren't you listening? Oh, I was listening. Very carefully, in fact. Hence my objections. Come on. Why do you always have to undermine me? That's never my intention, I assure you. Huh? It isn't? Because you do it so well to yourself every single time already. Of course it isn't. Yeah, I knew that. Because I'm... Please, Jesus, stop. Just stop for goodness' sake. You've already embarrassed me enough. Huh? What do you mean, Dad? And you're sure the stabs to the chest were the cause of death? There's no doubt about that? None. One of the spikes of the candelabrum even pierced the victim's heart. And unless you mean to call Dr. Hertz's professional opinion into question, we can only treat that as fact. The coroner's opinion backing up my own winning ones. Now that's what I call a flawless victory. Well, I'm certainly not about to ignore the coroner's findings. Hey, what about my findings? We can't just ignore them. Or you can't as well. But if the cause of death really was the puncture wounds to the chest from the candelabrum, that would seem to contradict one of the pieces of evidence we've gathered. He's not just ignoring my findings. He's ignoring me. Doing something, Gavel. As you wish. At the very least, I will ensure that he cannot ignore my own conclusions. Cause of death is the set of 3 puncture wounds to the left side of the chest inflicted by a candle holder. Well done for reading, Miles, Mr. Edgeworth. That report forms the basis of my own conclusions. In other words, if I disprove what it says, I disprove your conclusions too? You have the strangest sense of humor, but I wouldn't mind seeing you try. However, before you do, I would advise you to read that report very carefully. After all, I'm not interested in your opinions, only in subtly grounded deductions. Very well, then you shall have my deductions. Mr. Edgeworth? Don't worry, Kay. Everything will be alright. I need to find something to prove that the victim was still alive and breathing immediately after the attack. If I can't, Kay's fate will be sealed. Wait, what? Objection! That's weird. German winner. You know what this is, of course. The red raincoats. That's right, isn't it, Verity? Yes, sir. The one Miss Ringer was wearing. I warn you, Mr. Edgeworth, you will not be thanked for treading old grounds here. Well, I'm afraid I might have to regardless. Now then, if you'll answer me this, Judge Gavel. You told us that the victim's bloodstains were found on the coat. But do you remember where exactly they were found? Ho ho ho! Of course, they were found on the hood and... No! What's the matter, Verity? The hood and was blood found anywhere else on the raincoat? No, it was not. Doesn't that strike you as odd? The victim died of stab wounds to the chest. Wouldn't that lead to one to expect to find bloodstains in that area? And yet, there was blood only on the hood. That's a glaring contradiction if I ever saw one. The head wound the victim suffered wasn't just some incidental injury. It was inflicted before the stab wounds to her chest. Perhaps you are correct. Perhaps the victim did sustain the head injury first. As you said, if she had been stabbed first, there should be blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, Miss Rinker cannot have been stabbed before the head injury had been inflicted on her. But even if we can see this point, that the head injury came before the chest wounds, what difference would it make? How does it change our understanding of the case? I'd say it changes a great deal. In fact, it raises an even more fundamental contradiction. That is quite the bold claim, Mr. Edgeworth. I have to admit, you may have me intrigued. Perhaps you could show us this fundamental contradiction with some evidence. Which piece of it? This, of course. This is Dr. Hurt's preliminary findings, according to which The victim suffered a head injury post-mortem. But the order suggested by the bloodstains on the raincoat is exactly the opposite, yes. Bailiff, this court hereby subpoenas Dr. Hilda Hertz to the committee chamber with all due haste. Until she testifies, this case cannot be brought to a close. Yes, Your Honor. I'll go fetch her at once. Unfortunately, Dr. Hertz is a very busy woman. I doubt she will be able to come immediately. In the meantime, there's another important angle I would like to explore. Frankly, something has been bothering me about the person at the heart of this case. The so-called ringleader. Who exactly are they? Yeah, good point. We never looked into that, huh? Despite having been mentioned repeatedly in this hearing, we still don't know even the most basic facts that might help us uncover their identity. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any thoughts on the matter? We've seen nothing that might serve as clear evidence of the auctioneer's identity as of yet. But there is someone involved with the case that I can name. I suspect that at the very least they might be able to point us in the right direction. And that's Chairman Winter. I demand that you testify as to what you know. What? Oh boy. Are you crazy? Why would he accuse my dad? You cast doubt on the integrity of the chairman of the committee? Do you understand the implications of such an act? I don't care who or what he is. We're talking about the truth here. Oh boy, truth stuff. Again. So you're making sure... Yep. It's the truth. And nothing but the truth, Your Honor. What about... It's about a man who seems dead on seeing me framing K at all costs. The mask, corsage, ticket stub, and everything else. The items Kay was carrying when she was found. They were deliberately placed in her possession somehow. By Chairman Winter himself. A shocking accusation, and one I find hard to believe. But for the sake of completeness, I must ask. Why would he do such a thing? To cast suspicion of Kay, of course. Why else? I even managed to get him to say something to that effect. Chairman Winter, your rebuttal, please. Oh, this is surely ridiculous. I think the good chairman might be in shock. So what if I did? Did you hear me, dear boy? I said, so what if I did? You say you got me to admit as much, but where's your proof, With no witnesses to speak of, your word alone is hardly enough to make an accusation like that stick. But we were in the police area. Shouldn't there be cameras or something? I mean, wasn't there one just around the area I was recorded at? There should have been photographed proof at least. Or do you mean to tell us that you have something more to base your outburst on? He still has the arrogance he showed back at the detention center, and yet... Mr. Edgeworth, I am going to have to ask you to explain yourself. If that's alright, Mr. Chairman. No. I'll be very interested to hear this for myself. I'm intrigued to learn where Miles might have gotten the idea that I'm some sort of criminal. Because you'll never find a more fine and upstanding citizen than myself. He has a lot of nerve acting all innocent like that. Very well. Let's start at the very beginning. The fact that the auction took place right here in this other trial is a point of suspicion. Location that should be, by rights, only be accessible to members of the committee. Yeah, they all have keycards to the room after all. Furthermore, these auctions seem to be held on a somewhat regular basis. And for that to be possible, There can only be one winning explanation. That's right, Mr. Winner. The auctioneer is a member of the committee. What? No! Ark, what on earth is wrong now? What do I do, Dad? I play right into his hands. Oh, you did indeed, you utter nitwits. But Miles, my boy, you do recall that you've cast quite the wide net with your explanation? That's true. There are 11 members of the committee altogether. 10 given Miss Ringer's unfortunate passing. 10 potential suspects in total. That even includes me. Somehow, again. Well, it certainly isn't me. And again, can't be the chairman, can it? Whoever it is, speak up right now. Calm down, all of you, please. Well, Miles, is that all the proof you've got against me? You're very quite all of a sudden. But it's too late to back out now. You accuse a former chief prosecutor and current committee chairman of a crime. God. I would tell you to prepare for the worst. But you're at your lowest already. But there's no preparing for what you're about to face. Know your place. You've been forcing us to argue over every little detail for a while now. Where the murder happened, the order of the victim's injuries, some other things I hardly even remember. But you needn't have bothered, my boy, because it's all irrelevant in the end. Think about it. The suspect herself has already said it. She did it. That's all that matters at the end of the day, and her sentence will be lighter for it. So rejoice. And there you have it. Feel free to pick holes in it as you see fit. How can I when that was barely a testimony to begin with? That man is a very powerful person, isn't he? It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. Please, just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I did it. I'm the murderer. I even remember doing it. You saw a flash of something half-remembered, Kay. Nothing more. If you must believe in something, believe me when I say you should believe in yourself, your own innocence instead. But I'm up against the head of the committee here. This isn't going to be easy. But he seems to think he's already won. Perhaps I can use that against him. Just because she confessed to something doesn't make it the truth. She's suffering from amnesia, so any statement she makes should be taken with a grain of salt. Ugh! Even so, it doesn't solve anything for us, does it, dear boy? And it would be nonsensical to dismiss her confession outright. I'll tell you what, why don't we ask her one last time? Though I'm sure she'll just say she did it again. Fine, let's do it. Let's ask her again. We'll see if she really believes herself to be the culprit. Huh? You mean me? Is this really what you want, Mr. Edgeworth? If it goes badly, it could significantly weaken your position. I know, but there's no other way. Only request that I be the one to question her. You really know how to tug at an old man's heartstrings, you know? But fine, ask away on one condition. If this turns out to be a waste of time, that's it. We'll call the proceedings to an end, and then and there. Agreed? Call the proceedings to an end? You mean the hearing? Yes, dear boy, that's right. Perhaps you aren't a complete metalhead after all. Now, just so we're clear, if we ask again and all that happens is a girl confirms her guilt, she is officially declared guilty on the spot. Yes, that sounds like a great plan if I do say so myself. That's it? You declare her guilty just like that? That's the gist of it. It's a big risk, but he's going to find a way to condemn her either way if we don't do something. Kay. Yes? I know it's a lot to ask, but I need you to think. Do you remember anything else about what happened on the day of the murder? Anything that might help prove your innocence? Why? Why are you still fighting it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's no use. I can't be of help to you. I'm sorry. I'm too scared to try and remember any more. What if I remember something even worse? And if I did, I'd just be making more trouble for you. Please, just accept it. The Kay you thought you knew is a dangerous criminal. Criminal who let you down and betrayed your trust. Don't worry, Kay. You have nothing to be afraid of. I may not have known you for very long, but I know you well enough. Right now, I'd say I know you better than you know yourself. You would never commit a murder. You could never, because this is who you really are. You're the great thief Yadagrasu, a noble outlaw who would never stoop so low as to kill. I can't do it, I'm sorry. Okay, making sure I have that there. Because all I can see is the one memory that's returned. I have to face it. Hold it. No, the only evidence of your guilt is the confession they force out of you. As I said earlier, you have to believe that you're better than that. Or are you saying you don't believe a word of what I've been telling you? No, it's not that. You're trying so hard to help me. And you're risking so much for me. It's too much. You have to stop. I'm begging you. So that's what's going on. I thought it was strange, but now I see. The reason you're allowing yourself to be railroaded into accepting your fate is because of me, isn't it? Which is exactly why the K I know would have done. You're a good person, Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry to burst your bubble, but no, I'm not. And I don't plan on becoming one anytime soon. Because despite all your wishes to the contrary, I'm still trying to help you. So you see, I'm merely been servicing my own ego, regardless of what I put you through. Dot 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 dot. No, let's try this again. See the good in yourself. Okay, remember the novel things we truly are. The memory of committing you. The memory of you committing the murder. You need to question it with all you have. That's all I ask. So please do it for me. Okay. What's wrong? Do you remember something? it, it's be like some cliche movie plot if she did. A cow. Darn it. I thought she was going to say bull. And then I would have to immediately go bull. Bullshit. That was not what I wanted. A cow? Mr. Edgeworth, if you could perhaps ask her for a few more details? Well, okay. What can you tell us about this cow? I remember now. The person in the red raincoat, she had it in her hand. A stuffed cow. I can see it so clearly now. The rain's still there, though. Are you sure? Are you sure, Miss Faraday? Are you absolutely certain? Yes, I'm sure. Then this court acknowledges the defendant's latest statements as new testimony. Objection! Have you lost your mind, Verity? We can't accept testimony like this. Hold on a moment, I just want to hear what it is and... Let's see here. Hold on a moment. Just gotta hear how he says it. In English. You know what? I want to hear how it is in English. Dang it. That's cute. Okay, let's hear it there. You know what? I have yet to hear any of these. Actually, I could do so in my free time. Hold on a moment. I mean, I can hear it later on. Let's see here. Can I hear voice lines, though? My voice. You know what I have yet to? That's what I remember. Huh. Interesting. These are good voice lines. Yeah, cute animals. Aw, cutie. Fitooties. Aw, man, I can't hear them. Well, I'll just wait then. Okay, back to where I was. I'll get back to those later on. Yeah. Alright, I'll get back to the case. Sheesh, don't bark at me. We can't accept somebody like this. With all due respect, Mr. Chairman, information pertaining to the victim and her possessions is new and highly relevant evidence. Objection. Objection. Need I remind you of the adult state of her memory? No, this simply won't do. Adult, but if we claim her memory is unreliable now, then her own argument is weakened, sir. You said so yourself only a few minutes ago. That thanks to the suspect's confession, we not worry ourselves over the finer details, did you not? Oh gosh darn it, I did. Plus my lighter too. Were we to recall the validity of her memories into question, then we must also call into question the confession on which our entire argument is based. Darn it, you're right. Is that really the most advisable course of action? Yes, you're right. Proceed as you see fit then. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're still in the game, but only by the skin of our teeth. And only thanks to Judge Cavell's intervention. It's almost as if she was on our side for a second. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, the stuffed animal? I believe the cow in question is this thing here, Your Honor. I found it in the storeroom and believe it is yet another auction lot. Wait, that's... Do you know something, Cavell? No, it's just not what I imagined. I suppose it is a rather odd thing for the victim to have been carrying. I should look it more over carefully. The left horn is missing. This hole. Looks like that's where the horn would have gone. But that doesn't look like it's stuffing in there. So what is it? Let's take a look at the rest of this toy and see what else we can find. There's a cherry blossom petal cut in the fur here. There were petals on the raincoats too. And a cherry tree in the blossom on the viewing platform. It would definitely appear that this was taken out at some point. But what did the victim want with this thing? It's not... I guess the horn. The right arm seems intact, but I can't say it's doing much for the overall symmetry of this stuffed toy. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, it moves. It does? It sounds like sand's being crushed. It would seem there is a recording device hidden inside. Is Ant... I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Nothing to say for yourself? I've waited so long for this day. Now I'll finally have my revenge. Ah! Shh. Could this be the moment of the murder? And someone made a recording of it. Hey! That's them right there. Them's the voices I heard. Sure as eggs is eggs. Overruled. Unfortunately, we have no way of verifying when these voices were recorded. It's possible they have nothing to do with the murder. If only there were some accompanying video footage. What, you got bugs in your ear or something, lady? I done told you. Them's the voices I heard. And we already know the victim was holding that thing, right? So it's gotta be from when she got guts. Yes, it is a possibility, but a weak one without more than your word to back it up. We need something more, something credible. We need. Yet again, she seems to be stepping in to help. Judge Cavell, I think we all know the voices are from the moment of the murder. Consider for a moment the words we heard one of the speakers say. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. I believe we have something that could explain that these words are referring to and how it's all related. Well, you're... What? The coroner's preliminary findings. How do they prove anything? Oh, okay, making sure. Think again on the words we heard. This part in particular sticks out in my mind. You can't hide that burn from me. The victim had a prominent burn mark on the back of her right hand. And what if it's... According to case testimony, the victim was carrying that stuffed cow toy, and a burn mark, an identifying mark unique to the victim was mentioned on the recording it captured. It's just a coincidence. Stuff like that happens all the time, right? Overruled. I'm not so sure it does, especially not in this case. The court accepts that the recording may be from the time of the murder. In which case, one of the two voices must belong to the real culprit. Based on the content of their conversation, it seems likely that it's one we hear the most. But that still doesn't tell us anything about the killer's true identity, or even that they're male or female. Do the voice changers correct? Fortunate, but unavoidable. One thing, however, has become clear. We are now able to say that the voices Miss Hart heard were those of Miss Rinker and her killer. Just like I told you they were. We can say something else now, too. Yeah, then let's hear it. That is, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman. I do as you wish. According to Miss Hart, just before the murder occurred, two people came up to the storeroom from the committee chamber on the elevator. The ringleader and one of the auction attendees. It seems as this was the point at which money exchanged hands. The murder happened immediately afterward, and the auction carried on after that. All of which points to one key fact. What else does the latest revelation tell us? Since the ringleader was the auction's sole auctioneer, then it follows that they cannot be the victim. Hey, Gavel. Not right now, Eustace. There's a good boy. Good boy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And if they weren't the victim, then they can only have been the killer. Overruled. Compelling argument, but hardly conclusive. I'm fully aware of that, Your Honor. I was merely warming up for the main event. There were certain traces left on the scene that seemed to suggest that the ringleader was the killer. Then please hurry up and show us. Okay. Whoopsie. The killer deliberately left a large pool of blood at the foot of the goddess of justice statue. It was due to that blood that we originally thought that the murder had happened in this chamber. But it was simply a ruse, designed to cover up the blood that had dripped down from the storeroom. In order to conceal the existence of the underground auction, correct? Correct. If the culprit had nothing to do with the auction, they would have no reason to cover up that blood. Which further supports the theory that the ringleader and the killer were one and the same. And as to the identity of the ringleader, do you have anyone you would like to name? The auction is always held in this committee chamber, with its storeroom located just overhead. So at the very least, we know that the murderous ringleader has some connection to the committee. Yes. And you suspect me, correct? As the committee's most powerful member, that should hardly be a surprise, right? Objection! You're a fine prosecutor, that much I'll give you. But as I think I may have mentioned already, you're just also hopelessly naive. You've got nothing, dear boy, have you? No evidence whatsoever. Unless you've got something to share after all? Do I have any evidence to show that Chairman Winter is the murderer? It was Chairman Winter himself who brought up the fact that I suspected him. And he seems confident right from the get-go that he's untouchable. Which means he knows. He knows I have nothing. Oh, well, Miles, my boy, time to pay the piper. I've always wanted to say that. Verity, he's all yours. Wait, dang it, I just remembered something. Huh? Did you have amnesia too? Nah, it's just a don't come to me. Flash of inspiration, you know how it is. Very well, say your piece. Objection. What are you doing, Verity? Mr. Redworth has made it clear that he won't give up until every last lick of hope has been extinguished. You mean like my fire? Maybe. So extinguish we must. Let's try to drag this through this excruciating process again in the future. Yeah, what she said. I don't quite get it, but it sounded pretty cool. Don't worry, Dad. I'll help Gavel bring this to a winning finish. We'll show them how wrong they are. Fine. Let's hear what the witness has to say. You heard the chairman, Miss Hart. If you would be so kind. Well, all right then. Here goes nothing. Facts, Miss Hart, and nothing but the facts, please. Don't you worry your pretty little head on that front. I'm a journalist. Truth's my middle name. Color me officially worried. So the ringleader's a killer, right? Which makes the victim one of them auction goers. Thing is, I don't add up. I couldn't love people coming down that hatch, see? Then the murder happened, and the auction started back up again. Now, I had me a look back downstairs right after that. No. And when you know it, there were 11 little duckies all lined up in a row again. Oh, how? And you're sure of this, Miss Hart? Sure as sure can be, your devilship. Some with my own 2 peepers. So, 11 before the murder, and 11 again right after means... Wait, that's the thing. That's the thingy. A contradiction, Eustace. to try to keep up. Miss Hart, did nothing really change at all? I did told you already. They carried Ron on like nothing ever even happened. Oh, except for wasn't nothing much, but what is it? That little old mallet dad can have yourself an auction without one. Kind of like the one Missy there's got, but different. The auctioneer's hammer? That's a bunny. I done heard that thing banging and cleaning right the way through. Then nothing, just like that. So the noise of the hammer stopped midway through? Could it have something to do with a murder? If what Miss Hart is telling is true, we have something of a problem. Namely that if the victim is neither the auctioneer nor one of the attendees, your entire theory cannot stand, Mr. Edgeworth. Knock! Chuck one up for justice. Eat that, Edgeworth. See, Mr. Edgeworth, there really was nothing we could do. No, there must be something we're overlooking. Something we still have an explanation for. Just need to think. If I can't is... Alright, kids, do we finally have all of our answers now? If so, then I expect you to make good on... Hold it. One moment, sir. I worry it might be still a little early to pass judgment. After all, we have one more matter yet to resolve. And until we do, we cannot claim complete and total victory over Mr. Edgeworth. Is that not so, Mr. Edgeworth? Frankly, I expected you to have raised your voice by now. A loud hold it, perhaps. Oh, yes, of course. And once again, she has rescued me from the jaws of defeat. What's going on with her? Very well, let's get this over with, shall we? What is this one matter that still remains? Why, the contradiction in the coroner's report, sir. That's... I'm back with the witnesses, Your Honor. What's this about? I didn't call us back down here. Did somebody suddenly fall ill? I have a compress ready in 2 shades of ouch! This better be good. Did somebody else drop dead? Well, they might soon. Wish they had. Dr. Hertz, Miss Neither, thank you for coming on such short notice. Let me assure you, this won't take long. Quit trying to butter me up and cut to the chase, will ya? Of course. We summon you here to confirm something. What is Judge Cavell up to? Dr. Hertz, this court asks you to provide the unabridged truth regarding the following. Do you stand by your preliminary findings? Can you vouch for their complete and total accuracy? Gambit doesn't make mistakes ever. Gambit doesn't make mistakes ever. That's strange. Huh? What do you mean? In the course of this trial, an error was indeed found in her reports. And so I ask again for the truth, Dr. Hertz. Did you alter, tamper with, or in any way falsify your findings? That's awful. How could you even say that? What are you asking me for? Why the heck would I want to do that? To help the true culprit, of course. As if I know anything about all that. I just know I didn't do anything of the sort. But that seems doubly strange. What other explanation could there be for this discrepancy in your report? Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might have any thoughts on the matter. It's not like you to be coy, I must say. What? Why does she keep taking charge and helping me? I still don't know what she's trying to do, but I'll happily take whatever I can get. If everything was recorded accurately, and handed off to Mr. Winter accordingly to protocol, then the report shouldn't contain any mistakes. Wait. For the record, I didn't do anything to the report. I guess we'll see, won't we? Dr. Hertz, please, perhaps we could begin with your side of the story. Why do we even need to? This is pointless. I'll be the judge of what's pointless, thank you very much. But yeah, patients line back at the hospital. But Grandma, ouch, we really don't have time for this. Won't you please help us? I can't stress how important this is. Grandma says she'll testify, but could you please make it quick? If we're not back soon, people will suffer. Yet you had no qualms about taking your time and buying cotton candy last time we saw you. We'll let you go as soon as we can, I promise. Assuming you tell us the truth, that is. Ooh, a double testimony theme. This is really interesting. So-called mistaking the reports. Yeah, no way there's just mistaking Grandma's reports. Not never. I've been dealing with the dead longer than you've been alive, Sonny Jim. Me writing something wrong about is like he is ouch. And what the heck do you think I'd send to game by a doctor in a file? Don't make a lick of sense. And that's all she has to say. Nothing funky here. And nothing funny here. See, it's just as I thought. There's no chance a good doctor's doctored her findings. And you swear by the holy goddess that this testimony is true? Of course, Grandma's never told a lie in her... Objection! Your opinions are not necessary, Nurse Needler. Your grandmother is the subject of this inquiry, not you. Not necessary? That's not fair. I'm the only ally poor Grandma has. Go ahead and shout objection left and right, but you best be prepared then, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor. Oh, I'm more than prepared. I'm ready to expose the truth behind the error in the report. You may not have stood to gain anything from it, but what about your granddaughter? Me? I didn't stand to gain anything either. Never mind her. What about your little friend over there, She'd stand to gain something for sure. Look at you trying to accuse my sweet, innocent Florence of wrongdoing. Yeah, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I wish you'd tell that to Chairman Winter. Anyhow, nobody doctored that report, you hear? Nobody. The victim appears to have put this raincoat on after sustaining the head injury. Yet there was not a single drop of her blood in that chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, she must have been hit in the head before she was stabbed in the chest, making it pre-mortem. Oh, that's... ouch. I don't need you to teach me how to suck eggs, young man. My daily report already says what you said, don't it? Objection! Your report states that the head injury appears to have been sustained post-mortem, which is the exact opposite of what I said. Oh. I'm sure. I did legitimately dictated that report to Florence here, and she wrote it all down like I said it. If something happened to it after that, weren't nothing to do with me. You dictated it? If you could please tell me more. Just so we're on the same page, what were your conclusions regarding the body? Well, like I said, ouch! Sorry, it was, death from a good hard knock to the noggin. And can you see for certain that knock happened, Dr. Hertz? Pre-mortem, of course. Just would have happened after the poor girl died. I told Florence that and she wrote it right down. So that's what it says in my damn report. That may be what you told her, but I think we're finally getting to the truth. Okay. Okay, back to whoopsie doopsie. And then a moment. Loading a little chess piece. Objection! Dr. Hertz, I'd like you to take a look at the report for yourself. I'll read it too. Ouch! This ain't what I said. This ain't what I said at all. What? What do you mean exactly? Okay, then. I don't know. But I can't see that. Stop hitting me. Miss Needler, if you are attempting to bury Dr. Hertz's truth, I will gladly hear her confession myself on behalf of the Goddess of Justice. Dr. Hertz seems to be telling Judge Gavelle something in private. What? I see. Very well. Allow me to relate to everyone what you have just told me. Ain't no doubt about what I said. I did it in my findings to Florence, just like I told you I did. The photo-headed young thing must have wrote it down wrong or something. Wow, that was a great impression. Yes, but was really necessary. So in summary, there's an error in the report. And it was all because of you, Nurse Needler. The true facts have now been shown to that the head injury occurred prior to the chest wound. The question now, Miss Needler, is why did you introduce such an error? Hold it. Just a minute, Verity. Make it sound like as if the poor girl did it deliberately. Whereas it seems to me she just made a little mistake. Pre-mortem, post-mortem? They're practically the same words, don't you think? Except they mean completely two opposite things. This was deliberate, no doubt about it. But why would she want to change it? Exactly. Things can't... Ouch. You won't get away that easy. Explain yourself, young lady. But Grandma, You submitted a falsified report, an act that led Kate to being accused of murder. You owe us an explanation. But I can't tell you. No, I don't want to, but can't. This really is rather unpleasant, don't you think? Right, being up on this poor, considerate girl who's only looking after her grandmother. Oh, he's involved in this somehow. She has nothing to do with anything. She simply made one tiny mistake. So why not leave it there? Objection! You'd like that, wouldn't you? Because the only person in her testimony would hurt is you. Huh? What on earth do you mean, my boy? Seeing as you're now a de facto ex-prosecutor, you're going to need to explain yourself better than that. I'd be happy to. I'll even spell it out for you. Your Needler's role in this crime was very important because Your Needler doctored the report in order to cover for her accomplice. Ouch! Oh, so she's a co-conspirator? This innocent young thing? So share your grounds for making such a wild accusation, dear boy. The murder couldn't have been committed by one person working on their own. Without at least two people, it wouldn't have been possible to. If the auctioneer was the murderer and the victim was one of the attendees, the fact that a witness testified there being 11 attendees even after murder doesn't make sense. Hey, watch it! Y'all gotta come a good word into question now, too? That's not what I meant. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I'm taking you at your word, which means there must be a co-conspirator. I know it's hard, my boy, but sometimes you just have to accept that you were wrong. Objection! I wasn't wrong. I just hadn't considered the possibility of the killer having an accomplice. Because as soon as we do, things start to fall into place. If the killer's accomplice returned to the auction room in place of the victim, there would indeed have been 11 attendees both before and after the murder. Well, so that's your thinking, is it? It's certainly an intriguing theory. A game theory, if you must ask. But surely the imposter would have been spotted right away? I don't imagine that Nurse Needler looks strikingly different from the victim in build and stature. With the help of a mask, she could very easily have replaced Miss Ringer without anybody noticing. Well, Miss Nurse Needler, is that what happened? Did you take the victim's place at the auction? I wouldn't do something like that. Now tell us, the ringleader, who were they? I can't tell you. I just can't. I'd heard Grandma too. It hurt Grandma too. Ouch. But Grandma, don't you worry about me. I can take it. You just tell me everything, child. But, Grandma. Oh, my hair. Slub meat and the pumpkin head, too. So it's right. She was an accomplice. Miss Needler, why? Well, Miss Needler, can you explain yourself? Yes. Huh? Oh, thank you, Grandma. But I'm all right now. I confess it. I changed places with Miss Ringer. So you admit that you were working with the ringleader? Yeah. I was helping them. I don't know how, but they found out Miss Ringer was going to attack them. The culprit was going to be attacked by the victim? They seemed pretty sure it was going to happen that night, so they made a counter plan. They wanted to strike first. They wanted me to help them. I was told to go to the storeroom before the auction began and wait there. Hold it! Now hold on right there, Missy. I didn't see nothing, and my eyes don't lie. If you had been there from the auction, before the auction, I would have bumped right into you. I was there the whole way through, and you weren't there for a bit of it. But I'm not lying. Well, that's easy for you to say, but you were lying about altering that report only a few minutes ago. Objection! I think we're all aware of the number of potential hiding places in that storeroom. Are we? Where exactly are you trying to say our friends the nurse was hiding, She hid it inside this clothes box. Oh, she did she? Huh? Well, it was there this whole time, even before I knew she'd on in. But like Donna told you, that had all them chains around it. Wanted to hide in there myself, really, but it was locked up tight, so I had to go elsewhere. I mentioned that's because Nurse Needler was already lying in there by the time you arrived. That's right. We didn't want anybody to open it, or it would have been blown our cover. So the ringleader told me to climb in and wait until it was time for my part of the plan. And then they wrapped the whole box in chains. I think they took the elevator downstairs not so long after. It was just before the auction was due to start. So the auction was beginning. So as the auction was beginning, you and Miss Hart would have been the only people in the storeroom? Yeah, I think so. The auction proceeded as it always did, until a certain customer came up to complete her purchase. That was when the incident occurred. Miss Hart overheard the victim and the culprit exchanging words around then. You betcha, I was behind that statue there, shaking like a Dane's leaf the whole time. In the middle of the quarrel, Miss Ringer was killed by the auctioneer. I mentioned that the auctioneer then carried Miss Ringer's body over to the clothes box, from which Nurse Neither emerged and swapped places with the victim. After placing Miss Ringer's body inside the box, Nurse Neither's role was now to pretend to be Miss Ringer. The two of them then returned to the room below as if nothing had happened. Does that sum about what happened in the storeroom, Nurse Needler? Yes, in fact, that's exactly what happened. Hold up. So you just waltzed right back on in and nobody noticed? This is two completely different people we're talking about. You're telling me not one of the other folks down there at the auction cottoned on? Why would they? The other auction goers had no reason to notice the difference when Nurse Neither entered because she did her best. As we've seen, Miss Ringer and Nurse Neither are about the same builds. What's more, the auction rules requires attendees to wear their masks at all times. If Nurse Neither were wearing the same clothes as Miss Ringer, nobody would have been any the wiser. No, and they weren't. I borrowed Miss Ringer's clothes and youch! And I left the poor child in her smiles. Have you no respect, girl? No, Grandma, I thought the same thing. It wouldn't be nice to leave her like that. So when the ringleader wasn't looking, I put that raincoat on her. So that's how Miss Ringer came to be wearing it. Thus, the auction was able to carry on as before. Guess that part where I caught the red raincoat on film came it just after. Yeah, it must be. Then it all makes sense. Right after that was when I went over and looked downstairs through the gap in the elevator. Spotted me 11 happy little auction goers. Then back I snuck to my little hidey hole. Hidey hole. Don't tell me you were hiding back there the entire time after that. Well, that is not exactly. What is it? Did something happen? So maybe I ought to have mentioned this before, but I fell asleep for only a few weeks after that. Well, pass out unconsciously, you might say. What? What happened? Oh, nothing much. Kind of silly, really, but there was this sudden loud noise, and it startled me just a little bit, you know. Alright, maybe more than a little. But I just witnessed a murder. Can't blame a girl for getting jumpy. Guess I got my heart shook and my head faint. Before I knew it, I was out like a light. But the time I came to, it was the next day, and there y'all were clanking down that ladder. I see. So you were startled by a loud noise and fell unconscious? I suppose that means you don't know what happened after that? No, not per se, but, well, after the auction was over, all the masks were put back on the rack. So I reckoned the guests finished up and filed out one by one like they were supposed to. There's neither. Once the auction had restarted, what exactly were you doing? I was pretending to be Miss Ringer and placing bids just like the ringleader wanted. I had to win the clothes boxes I had been extracted. It had a dead body inside after all. Imagine if somebody else had one, we would have been in real trouble then. So we had no idea that the victim had vacated the box in the meantime? No, not until we came back up so I could pay for it. That was when we noticed. The ringleader told me to go look for her right away. Except I found some other girl collapsed at the foot of the ladder instead. Kay. Yes, she must have fallen up from the roof and been knocked unconscious. Guess the victim must have left that hatch wide open, huh? That would explain it. Kay would have been so shocked by seeing Miss Ringer fall motionless right in front of her that she wouldn't have seen the open hatch and fallen right through it. That explains the noise that caused you to faint as well, Miss Hart. It was the sound of Kay crash landing onto the storeroom floor. Well, I suppose. Can't believe something like that knocked on me for so long, though. So in summary, by the time Miss Needler found Kay, you were already sound asleep behind the statue. I think we've got a good grasp on what occurred up to this point now. Miss Needler, if you would continue? Sure. So I found Kay. Next I found Miss Ringer, and I put them both in the close box. We couldn't risk any of the auctioneers seeing them. That would have caused a real hullabaloo. Was that your idea or the ringleaders? Theirs. But putting the raincoat on Miss Ringer was my own idea. So I tried to get rid of it before they found out what I had done. I imagine they were none too pleased when it showed up as a surprise piece of evidence in this case. And lastly, the ringleader and I put her in an auctioneer's outfit we'd prepared. Of course, which completed this deception and made everyone think she was the auctioneer. All in all, the auction finished up without anybody noticing anything at all. And that was that. Now that we know the extent of your crimes, Miss Needler, there is still one thing to know. If you have anything further to share, I advise you to do so immediately. Like what? Oh, I don't know. I wish I could tell you more, but I'm sorry, that's all I know. Oh, except for one other thing. It did seem a little strange, I guess. When I was borrowing Miss Ringer's clothes, I took everything I could, but I couldn't take her hair, obviously, so ouch. You're dang right you couldn't take her hair. What kind of medical professional are you? That's where you draw the line? So taking her clothes was okay? Our hair was totally different. The style, the length, everything. I kind of panicked. But the ringleader thought of everything, including wigs. 2 of them, in fact. There was a straight one and a wavy one. They were both stashed in the clothes box. 2 wigs. Well, why? Right? I wondered that too. I thought maybe they were worried she might have changed up her style. Anyway, I took the straight one. That was the one that matched her hair on the day, leaving a weary wig in the box. And that's everything you know? There's nothing else you're forgetting? You know, except for a certain thing? No, huh? No, really, Grandma, that's everything. And I take it that you really have no idea who the ringleader might be? Sorry, I only know that they were in charge of the auction. I didn't see them without their mask on. And they were pretty careful to keep their identity a secret from everyone. Oh, if I can't get something concrete on them. Well, Miles, are we about done? You've proven the nurse was part of the murder plot. Sadly for you, it doesn't change a whole lot. Except for Kay's innocence, duh. Because it does nothing to prove that Kay Faraday isn't the ringleader. Justice must prevail. We can't change the law, even for your sake. Is this it? Am I not going to be able to save Kay? Objection! Francisca, what are you doing here? As I told you before, Miles Edgeworth, Where the case leads, I follow. Her dedication is an inspiration to all of us. Us all. But don't go getting the wrong idea, little brother. I'm only here to deliver the truth regarding the suspects. I'm certainly not here to forgive you for abandoning the way of the prosecutor. I understand that. You should thank your former subordinate for what I'm about to share. In his desperation to help Kefir today, he gave me an invaluable piece of information. Detective Gumshoe did that? Prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth, for the final piece of the puzzle. Rosie Dinger's head wound was the first of the injuries she suffered, not the second. Oh boy. Well, say something. Yes, there's no easy way to say this, Francisca, but we already prayed that ourselves. You, what? Yes, just a few minutes ago. Well, why didn't you say so sooner? You didn't exactly give us a chance. And I suppose you know about the murder weapon, too? No, not yet. Huh, good. Well, listen up. The victim was struck on the head with a blunt object bearing a circular surface. The wounds to the chest were actually inflicted post-mortem. Circular surface? Objection. And you're certain of that, I assume? Your sources are above board? Two trusted medical professionals reached the same conclusion independently. You couldn't ask for more. Objection. That's certainly good to know. Unfortunately, you're over subject... Of what? I am the prosecutor in charge of Interpol's investigation into the underground auction. And this murder occurred during that auction. It would be negligent of me not to pursue leads pertaining to related parties, especially the victim. My, you've really become quite the force to be reckoned with, haven't you, my dear? Then all parties are in agreement. The victim died from a blow to the head. Sadly, the murder weapon itself is yet to be identified. Based on the shape, I might have an idea or two. But guys, it didn't turn up any other weapon during my investigation. And yet, only one needs to think about the setting in an auctioneer's tools, and the answer should be obvious. What would an auctioneer have readily at hand? A gun. An auctioneer's hammer, of course. But we never found one of those. And if the auctioneer was indeed the killer, it does seem a likely candidate for the murder weapon. But without the evidence to support your theory, it remains nothing more than that. Oh, I have just the evidence you need right here. Miss Hart told us something very important about the auction after the murder occurred. She said that the very prominent sound of the auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. Now, why would that be? I'll tell you why. Because it had been used in a murder and was covered in the victim's blood. It would need to be disposed of. Isn't that right, Chairman Winner? I'll have our people look into this right away. Oh, you really are like a dog with a bone, aren't you, dear boy? But if you can't dedicate yourself to a cause when you're young, when can you, He seems very confident we'll never find it. Very well. A search for the murder weapon will be conducted. In the meantime, this court is in recess. And to that, I will be taking a little break for about an hour or so. Not an hour, but a little while. So, yeah, I'll be right back. It's also gotten so dark that the lights have turned off. Hold on a moment while I just do that. There we are. Looks like something big is about to happen. I can feel it. Alright, let's see here. April 6th, Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence Chamber. Silence in the courtroom. Silence in the courtroom, please. Miss Von Karma, if you would be so kind as to update on the progress of the search. That's not good news, I'm afraid. The entire big building has been searched from top to bottom. And no auctioneer's hammer was found anywhere. Yarg! That is bad news indeed. Then, we have no choice but to move ahead with the verdict. Such a terrible shame. But I suppose only a fool would have left the murder weapon behind. Certainly not what I expect from a first-rate criminal mind. No, there's just not enough. There's just not enough to work with here. I can't carry out us any further on my own. Yes, it really is a tragedy, but such is life, I suppose. I was just thinking back over the defendants I've made plea deals with over the years. People who poured their hearts to me, who trusted me with every details of their crimes. And then, when it came to their sentencing, I recommended life in prison every time. For every single one. Oh, if only you could see them. The stupid, dumbfounded looks on their faces. The verdict will now be passed. All present will accept the goddess's word as law. There's nothing more I can do. Kay and Arya are both. If only we had some proof. I never imagined I would be passing on to judgment on you under such circumstances. The end of the road, huh? By the power vested in me. Excessius winner! This court hereby indicts you for your crimes. What? What? Huh. What on earth's gone into you, Verity? I submit the court's consideration the case file of a certain incident. Namely, the I-7 incident, a murder that took place 18 years ago. But what does that file have to do with... Wait, you mean... Your late-night visit to this chamber, that was to... Precisely, I came here to retrieve these documents. Though sadly, it would seem that I arrived too early to catch the auction itself. When we spoke of the matter before, I implied that I had come to retrieve files pertaining to your own case. You'll have to forgive me. That was a ruse to buy myself more time. Okay, but what does that have to do with anything? What the heck are you doing, Gavel? You can't just accuse my dad. Yeah, especially what's going on here. But this doesn't say anything here. Without proper grounds, it's deformation. Oh, son, I didn't know you cared about my face. An excellent observation, Eustace. Huh? It is? And of course I have the grounds to make such an accusation. Right, 18 years ago, Mr. Manfred von Karma had some details about the victim's body fabricated. Details he was forced to fabricate when the sculpture Artie Frost's body went missing. Wait a minute, are they? My papa fabricating information. What is the meaning of this? You didn't know about this, Miss Von Karma? It was a big theme about Deal 6. Ian Seidman, the detective originally assigned to the case, did in fact report that the body had gone missing. However, it seems that a certain someone wasn't very pleased with Mr. Von Karma, and deliberately withheld that information in order to bring him down a few pegs. What? What? This individual refuses to allow anyone to go up against their wishes or to challenge their power. They're known to go to extreme lengths in order to bring those who defy them to heel. 18 years ago, they were no different. In fact, they even ordered Dr. Hertz to create a false autopsy report for the IS-7 and... What the heck? What? She was responsible for the fake reports. Hold it. Wait, you have to understand. Grandma, she's not a bad person. She had to do what he said. She didn't have any choice. The person in question was the chief prosecutor at the time. The chief prosecutor 18 years ago? No! Oh my god, this all makes sense now. He was the one who gave Manfred the penalty. The man who gave Papa the first penalty of his career. Excelsius winner, it was you. Objection! Objection! What are you talking about? My dad would never do something like that. Overruled. I'm sorry, Eustace, but your opinion on the matter is not needed here. Well, Chairman Winner, do you have anything to say for yourself? Oh, the nonsense with the body. That was Manfred's doing. Such a willful boy. And the fake autopsy report? Hulda, how could you? I can't believe you naughty kids would do such dishonest things behind my back. Hold it! We could just ask her why she did it. She is standing right over there after all. Hold it. Wait, Grandma can't she's... Ouch! Grandma, I'm sorry. I knew. That's why I... Pretty sassy. If I didn't, everybody would have found out about what you did. They said he was going to charge you for if you didn't help them with their plan. They said he would. I just had to do what the auctioneer said. So you were coerced into it, were you, Nurse Needler? And just to be clear, the auctioneer was Chairman Winner? I'm sorry, but I honestly don't know. The person forcing me to help them was the auctioneer. And they definitely looked to be about the same build as the chairman, but I never saw their face. Well, there must be something. Any detail, no matter how small, will do. Any detail, no matter how small, will do. Oh, wait. Their mask didn't cover their whole face. And the part that wasn't covered had a tattoo on it. I remember that much for sure. A tattoo? Objection! Objection! This all sounds very dramatic, but I really don't know what you're talking about. There's no tattoo anywhere on my face. I think I know if there was one, wouldn't you? Which means I can't be the ringleader, no matter how much you want me to be. I only hope you can figure that out. Who the shameless manipulator might be. Oh. Overruled. Overruled. Your contempt for this courtroom is an insult to the goddess. Are you sure it's not you who's feeling insulted here? I'm not the only one who has been trying to bring you to justice. Miss Ringer had been trying too. And I refuse to let her sacrifice be in vain. Aunt Rosie was looking to take me, don't you say? But why? I barely knew her. I've always had a certain magnetic charm, but I don't remember ever catching that particular eye. You barely knew the victim? Why, I do believe that is a new statement. The goddess demands that you offer your full testimony on the record. So that's how this is going to be going? You mean to hound me until I finally break? Well, if that's the way you wanted to play it, fine. I'll destroy you all. Every last one of you. That's a threat. Can we get this guy into jail? Miss Redruth, please allow me to work with you on this one. I doubt we'll get another chance to put him on the stand. So let's make the most out of this opportunity. Of course, Your Honor. I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, Chairman Winter, you will tell us, this court, everything you know about Miss Ringer. Ah! Looks soulless into my eyes. Everything I know about Miss Ringer. Can I just leave, please? Young Rosie was a member of the committee, of course. But we never really had any personal interactions. At least, none that I remember. I had no motive to murder that poor girl whatsoever. And I have absolutely no idea why she was after me. So you don't mean to accept your part in any of this? Of course he doesn't. He isn't guilty. How could he be? He's my dad, the winner of the winners. That's very kind of you, Eustace. But you'll need more than mere words if you plan to cover for me. Right, you got it. I won't let them pin this on you. I'll believe in you, Dad. You'll beat Edgeworth. I know you will. Yes, you really are such a sweet, simple child. He really loves his dad, huh? But that's no excuse for him to ignore his father's crimes, just like my own. No matter how much he respects him, regardless of their station in life, all criminals will be made to atone for their sins in time. This won't be easy on Mr. Winter. But it has to be done. We can't let his father get away with this. As a member of the committee, you must at least have been familiar with her face. Sure, but that's about all. I saw her every once in a while. So you're saying you barely knew the victim at all? That's exactly what I'm saying, my boy. Yes, I never even knew about that burn mark on her hands. You didn't? I mean, what's the point? You get to know someone, but before you do, they're gone. It's become such a pain to remember things about others. They're here one day and gone the next. I guess that is true in some way. Just because they dare stand up to you and you make them disappear. If you could please add the remark about the victim's burn to your testimony, Chairman Winter. You're sure you didn't know about the burn mark? We really don't let up to you. I'm not in the habit of memorizing who has a scar on their hands and who doesn't. But this wasn't any old scar. I'd say it's pretty noticeable, in fact. Perhaps under normal circumstances. But now that I think about it, Miss Ringer did always wear gloves. Truth be told, I wasn't aware of the burn mark until after the incident myself. The victim's hands were always covered by a pair of gloves. It makes sense, of course. People can be very self-conscious about such things. I can only sympathize being something of a sensitive soul. Being something of a sensitive soul myself. I hope you're not too sensitive to append that statement to your testimony. So you remember her always wearing gloves? I mean, it was something of a trademark of hers, yes. Who knew it was to hide a burn mark? I always imagined it was a fashion statement. Does your little friend there have something to hide under all those bandages, I wonder? Who, me? No, I don't have anything to hide. You don't? Not even the stony visage of a cold-blooded murderer? Objection! If anyone here is hiding such a thing, it's you. And I'll expose your true face, if it's the last thing I do. Dane! Cold burn! Oh, you never fail to entertain my boy. Go ahead and do your worst. So Miss Rinker always wore gloves. That reminds me of something. We should look over all the evidence again. Nope. 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 Oh, there we are. So Miss Ringer always wore gloves? If she did, that raises a rather important question and highlights a certain contradiction. Quite a contradiction. A contradiction, you say? Really? If we listen again to the conversation that was captured by the stuffed cow, you'll soon see what I mean. We can be reasonably certain that what we just heard in the moment the victim was attacked. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. You assumed that those were the words of the killer. And where's your problem in that? Seems like a perfectly sensible assumption to me. I'm afraid not, Chairman Winter. For you see, if the victim was always wearing gloves as you just testified, the burn mark on her hand should not have been visible to her killer. Objection! Speaking as if gloves can't be easily removed. She could have taken them off during the auction. But she hadn't. She was still wearing them when I changed places with her. So they must have been on her hands when she was being murdered too. What are you saying, my dear? You do know how much trouble you're in, don't you? I'm not scared of you anymore. I have Grandma on my side now. Now it's time for you to pay the piper, Winter, you dang devil. I see. So you're both looking to disappear too? Huh. That can be arranged. Not this time, Excelsius Winter. The only person disappearing will be you. Objection! Hey, you can't talk to my dad like that. Who cares if the burn was covered up? What does that even matter? Objection! Oh, it matters. Because it turns our understanding of the burn mark on its head. What do you mean? Okay, the fact that it been covered up to possibly tell us. Think about it like this, Mr. Winter. The victim was wearing gloves. Therefore, the burn mark on your hand would have not been visible. In which case, whose burn mark was it that was being referenced in the recording? Somebody who, wasn't the victim? Precisely, which can only mean that the culprit had a permanent burn mark too. Or to put it another way, I knew it was you the moment I laid on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Those words were spoken not by the murderer, but by the victim. No way! Objection! Objection! Eustace, my boy, would you mind stepping aside for a sec? Look, Miles, it's nice to see you having fun with your little flights of fancy, but let's get serious. So the murderer had a burn mark now? Really? Where? Your little theory will either take flight or die depending on your answer here, I'm afraid. So I'm messing around. I have to figure out where that burn mark was, and fast. I wonder where it could have been. All of the auction people were wearing disguises, right? Yes, and each disguise was different. Yet, in spite of that, the burn mark was visible to the victim somehow, which means... Well, shall we? Enlighten us, why don't you? Where was the first burn mark? Seem you have some evidence. How was that evidence? Looking for. Which one was it? I think it was Heart Statement. Hold on a moment. I need to remember how to work this in. What was a tattoo thing? If it's Lotta's testimony, I'll be mad. Oh, right. Right, the ringleader's appearance. Hold on a moment. Forgot how it works. Here's my evidence. The outfit the ringleader was wearing throughout the auction. Or rather, the outfit you were wearing, Sherman Winter. Oh, and what exactly was that supposed to tell us? Objection! A suit, white gloves, and a mask. This disguise should have covered almost all of your skin. But according to Nurse Needler's testimony, the auctioneer's mask didn't quite cover your entire face. And not only that, she claims to have seen a tattoo on the part that was exposed. But was it a tattoo, or did she simply mistake a burn mark for one? Huh? A burn mark? On the face? Objection! Objection! Sorry to interrupt while you're so clearly enjoying yourself, dear boy. But I regret to inform you that none of the committee members had such a burn. Myself including, of course. But Dad, do you think you can be quiet, please? You can be foolish on your own time later. Well, you may be annoying most of the time, but Mr. Winter. But on this particular occasion, I'm grateful for your presence. A reaction like that from you, his son, is as good as an indicator of the truth as I could have hoped for. And it gives me a much-needed confidence boost concerning another theory of mine. Namely, who that one unexplained item belongs to. What's the matter with Mr. Winter? I think he might be in shock. After all, he's usually the last to figure things out. But in this case, he seems to have gotten there all too quickly. He knows that his father is indeed the real murderer. He's sad because he knows the truth? So, it's better not to know the truth at all? Okay, it's what we came here for. It doesn't matter how we get there. The important thing is finding the truth. You yourself told me that once, right when I needed to hear it the most. And now it's time for me to repay the favor and show you the truth of your innocence. I want to know, too, the truth of what really happened. So please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you show me? I very much intend to. Oh, you don't know when to give up, do you? Where's this burn, then? Perhaps you could point it out to me? But you can't, can you? Because it's nowhere to be found. Just like your evidence that I'm the killer. Yeah, hunt for contradictions all you like. You won't find any. Because he's my dad, a winner through and through. Objection! I understand, Mr. Winter. I completely understand why you don't want it to believe it's true. But if you ignore the truth now, you'll regret it for as long as you live. Dad, what do I do? Aw, man, this sucks. I just don't understand it. How could I have raised such an utter buffoon? If you really wish to help your father, Eustace, you can try thinking on your own for once in your life, you useless nitwits. But I try all the time, Dad. All I do is try. I went to the school you wanted me to go to. I ace every test. Look at my jacket. They only give these to the valedictorian. I did everything you told me to. I worked like crazy and graduated top of my class. I tried to be just like you and win as many trophies as I could. Objection. You really are just a simmering simpleton, aren't you? Those tests you aced, I had the school give you the perfect scores on all of them. Those debate and speech competitions you won, the judges were all friends of mine. If you never even realized that much, there's no hope for you, I'm afraid. None at all. You're no son of mine. Even you must see that. Ah! Oh, gone. My own son. They all leave in the end. Excelsius Winter, worst dad of the year. And here's an FU to him underneath my desk. You're not going to see it on screen, but I give Excelsius the middle finger. Screw this guy. Oh, I mean, boo. Even when he was trying, he was failing, and he did it all for me. Then he should have tried harder. You're a disgrace. You don't deserve to be a father, and you certainly don't deserve to be a chairman of this committee. Even I feel sorry for the boy now. Poor Mr. Winter. Not you mean. Screw you, but the kid. Explain yourself, Chairman Winter. Just what do you think your son is to treat him such a way? An utterly useless pawn sounds about right. But you're one to talk verity. You tried to worm your way into my trust by using Eustace too. I cannot deny it. However, I have never thought of him as a mere pawn. He may not be naturally gifted prosecutor, but he tries. In some ways he tries harder than anybody. That's what I have witnessed during my time with him. Yet you would claim him useless? How could you? Objection! Because he is Verity, my girl. He is utterly incapable of doing anything I ask of him. Mr. Edgeworth, I entrust my offering to the goddess to you, so that you may use it to call her final judgment unto Excelsius Winter. Thank you, Your Honor. I've been more than ready to do so. If the Wrangler had a visible burn mark on their face, that might... If the ringleader had a visible burn mark on their face that night, then it would follow that Chairman Winter is currently hiding that mark somehow. How exactly was he dressed during the auction? That will be the key to solving this case at last. Now then, your answer, please. What piece of evidence will help us to reveal the burn mark on the culprit's face? Oh, God, you can't be serious. Recall Nurse Needler's testimony, if you will. There was one thing we never quite resolved. The second wig. The one that wasn't used. I seem to remember it being wavy? What are you two talking about? Nurse Needler apparently found some very interesting items when she went to swap places with the victim. And what do they have to do with the burn mark? What she found were two wigs. One was intended to make her look more like the victim. But what was the other one for? I don't suppose it was meant to be a spear. It doesn't take a huge leap of imagination to see the truth. Compare Chairman Winter's current appearance to that of the ringleader as it was described to us. Stop it! Stop staring at me! One very prominent difference presents itself. His face, or rather, what's around it. You mean, it wasn't a wig after all? Indeed, not a wig intended to go on the top of the head in any case. It was a fake beard all along, wasn't it, Excelsius Winter? This is all my own, dear boy. How very unkind of you suggest otherwise. Objection! We saw how your son reacted when he realized the truth, and how he desperately tried to cover for you, even in light of his realization. Yet you still feared that he might expose you. So rather than take that risk, you bullied him until he couldn't take it anymore. Because he knew that your beard hides a prominent burn mark. Chairman Winter, I insist that you remove your beard this instant. Garg! There it is, the burn mark. Mr. Edgeworth, for bringing Ivanful to justice before the eyes of the goddess, you have my thanks. No, thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. Excelsius Winter, in the name of the goddess, I hereby pronounce you my verdict. In the matter of the murder of Miss Rosie Ringer, this court finds you guilty. Dang, that was some That was something else. April 6, 9:44 a.m. Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence Chamber. Dang. That is going to be some harsh truth for the son. Mr. Edgeworth, I can't thank you enough. You never gave up on me, even when I give up on myself. That was very kind of you. There's no need to thank me. As the prosecutor, well, ex-prosecutor, no, as a friend, it was the least I could do. Mr. Edgeworth, rejoice. I've learned that Chairman Winter has been safely delivered to the detention center. The search for the missing auction hammer continues. However, we are talking about Chairman Winter here, so it's highly likely that it has already been destroyed. In addition, there was one other matter I must inform you of. The chairman had made a rather strange statement. According to him, the letters were not part of his plan. What? How could that be? He claims that he and Mr. Needler found this letter on Miss Ringer's person, and that they found a second letter on Kay's unconscious body. From their contents, the letter seems to ones of correspondence. So he leapt to the conclusion that they must have been working with each other. That's quite the conclusion to jump to. As he read the letters, that's when he came up with the idea to frame Miss Faraday for Miss Ringer's murder. So he decided to place the victims in a very conspicuous place. Namely, in her left chest pocket. Sounds to me like he's trying to make excuses for himself. Yes, I certainly thought the same. Perhaps it was some sort of ditch point on his part. But it matters not. He will answer to the goddess now. And under her scrutiny, such strategies cannot hope to succeed. He will not accept justice. And with that, one of the duties with which I have been entrusted with is complete at last. Judge Cavell, before you go, can you tell us what you know about how Chairman Winter came to murder Miss Ringer? There's more there, isn't it? Yes, and I suppose you have earned the right to the whole truth. Miss Ringer once had a lover, a press photographer. He was investigating the underground auctions as a freelance journalist. But before he could uncover the truth behind the auctions, he was disappeared. He was disappeared? Don't you mean he disappeared? All Miss Ringer was left with was the memories and personal effects of her lover. So, seeking revenge on Chairman Winter, she made her appearance at the auction. Unfortunately for her, her opponent struck first. I see. So that's the story behind this case. While the goddess does not condone acts of wanton vengeance, Miss Ringer's actions have exposed Chairman Winter's crimes at least. So that was your real goal. You were tasked with exposing Excelsius Winter and the corruption at the heart of the committee. Does anyone know what happened to Mr. Winter? I'm afraid I haven't been able to get in touch with him. Do you have any idea why? Probably because I wasn't there for him just now when he needed me the most. Oh, I really feel bad for him. Well, don't pity him too much. At least he knows the truth now. And no matter how hard it might be, you'll need to learn to accept it, like my father being a cold-blooded killer as well. If he can't, he'll never be able to move on with his life. Trust me. Father's influence isn't easily erased. But in time he can hopefully try and change his ways. You're right. You've got to be. Can I change too, I wonder? Can I move on with my life? Are you okay, Kay? How's your head feeling? I'm fine. Thank you. I'm so sorry, Kay. You were my patient. I had a responsibility to you, and instead I let them accuse you of ouch! Big rat! We ain't just in the business of fixing bodies, Missy. The mind's where it all begins. You're right, Grandma. Speaking of which, how's your memory? It's like, with a little more time, maybe I'll be able to remember some more. Please forgive me, but I better be on my way. I am to preside over the trial of Fifi Lagarde in a bit. The Bronco Knight case, huh? Who's the defense attorney? It was supposed to be Miss Ringer, but she is no longer with us. We are still in the process of finding her replacement. Miss Ringer was scheduled to represent Warden Lagarde? And of course, until we find uses, there's nobody to act for the prosecution either. In any case, I must take my leave. Wait, please. What about Mr. Edgeworth's badge? What's going to happen to it now? With its chairman under arrest, the committee's activities have been suspended for the time being. So, to answer your question, it's complicated. It's all up to the goddess now. But don't worry about it, Kay. It's a consequence of my own making. And I assume you do not mean to change your mind? Of course not. I choose the path of the truth. I choose it willingly. With Chairman Winter out of the picture, justice is in the hands of the righteous once more. If you did wish to follow the path of the prosecutor again, Mr. Edgeworth, I would be more than happy to facilitate such a decision. It's very kind of you to offer, but I can't accept your help at this time. I can't ask for my badge back when I'm not even sure if I want it anymore. I see. It seems we are destined to continue on different paths then. Well, I trust you'll keep my badge safe until they converge again. With all I have. In the meantime, I've here a token of the goddess's mercy. You may return this notebook to its rightful owner. Kay's promised notebook. It seems that it was due to be sold in the auction. And with the name Kay written on its cover, Chairman Winter made the connection immediately and knew who it belongs to. It was the same name as the one in the letters after all. The letters he claimed to know nothing about? I suppose he insisted he didn't prepare them. Yes, he also had something else to say. Apparently, he thought that Miss Faraday was after her notebook, and that Miss Ringer was after his life. And that their respective goals were what led them to cooperate and infiltrate the auction together. Unfortunately for him, he misread the situation completely. It was just happenstance. If Kay had been a defense attorney who was also a member of the committee, there's no way she wouldn't have told me. That just isn't like her. You believe in her touching. Well, the notebook did become part of Chairman Winter's cover-up scheme. It is also a treasured possession of Miss Faraday's, which is why I would like for her to have it back, as I am sure would the goddess. Thank you. I pray that it helps her recover her lost memories. Is everything all right? Yeah. Judge Cavell wanted me to return something important to you. Aw, man. Aww. Isn't that notebook promises? Oh, this is smiling. Always greet people with a smile, even people you don't know. Never cry in front of strangers. Daddy, I wrote them all down, Daddy. Yeah, I'm gonna keep all my promises and be a real hero when I grow up, just like you. Oh, wait. I forgot to write one down, the most important promise of all. Promise number 5. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. I remembered it just how you said it, and I'll never forget it. Aww. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. That's right. I have to try. I'm Kay Faraday, the great thief who will do anything to get her hands on the truth. Second Yadagrasu, an assistant to Mr. Edgeworth. Yay! She got her memory back. Woohoo! Yeah, that's nice. She's back to who she was. Woohoo! Give a round for Kay. Yeah. She remembered. Sydney Yagarasu, an assistant to Mr. Edgeworth. Kay, is that really you? Can't say I'm not a little embarrassed, but... Yeah, I'm back. I couldn't have done it without you, Mr. Edgeworth. You never stopped helping me, even when I was totally lost, and I couldn't remember anything. Thank goodness. You certainly seem to be back. Hey, so this is the real you, huh? Welcome back. So good to know you're better. I can sleep easily now. Now that you found it, don't you dare losing that memory of yours again, young lady, you hear? Miss Neither, Dr. Hertz, thanks a lot for looking after me. And if you really are better, how about you get out of them dang hospital duds? Oh yeah, I wish her clothes for you. Here. I thought they were with Detective Gumshoe. He handed them over to us after they came back from forensics. And did he happen to mention if forensics found anything of note? I didn't ask. Anyway, never mind that now. Put them on, Kay. I want to see. Wait, what about her bandages? Surely it's too soon to remove them? Oh, it's probably fine. She may have taken a big old bump to the head, but she really wasn't hurt otherwise. But then, why all the bandages in the first place? We had to give first a new cosmetic look, nothing more. Prevention is better than cure. Sufficient time saves 9. Those are a few of my mottos. Both of which sound painfully annoying practices for your patients. Okay, Kay, transformation time. Da 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 da. What, is she gonna Sailor Moon in here? Yeah, now this is what I'm talking about. Fits like a stolen glove. That smile suits you better too, as it always did. Thanks to you, Miss Von Karma. I'm so glad you showed up when you did. I simply came when Scruffy asked me to. I'm sure he'll be very happy to see that you're back to your old self too. Speaking of Gummy, where is he? Who knows? Perhaps the well of his devotion ran dry when someone threw away his badge. Detective Gumshoe. Anyway, I have to be going, and I'll be taking those two with me. Oh, wait, what's going to happen to them? Acting as an accomplice in a murder and forging an autopsy report 18 years ago. Wait, aren't the statute of limitations over by then? Oh, wait. Their crimes can't be allowed to go unpunished. Wait, wouldn't that mean that... Darn it, what was her name? The dancer girl's crimes weren't... Oh wait, she was sent to jail anyways. But the fact that Excelsius Winter coerced them into cooperating will, of course, be taken into account. Don't you worry about us, Kay. As long as Grandma and me are together, we'll be alright. Take care, Kay Faraday, until we meet again. So, Kay, I know you only just got your memory back, but I need to ask you some questions. Sure, ask away. What happened the day you lost your memory? What were you doing? Let's see. Somebody asked me to meet them at Gourd Lake. But I didn't know who it was. So there I was, just looking up at the moon when somebody in a red raincoat started walking towards me. They must have drugged me somehow, because that's when I fell unconscious. What? I'm not sure I follow. Kay was at Gourd Lake looking up at the moon? Anyway, when I came to, I was on the roof of this building. I was in a daze and stumbling around there when I saw the person in the red raincoat again, but they were lying on the ground. I was so surprised I stumbled backward. Then I was falling and everything went dark. When I came to the second time, I couldn't remember anything. The person in the red raincoat. Who in the world were they? I'm sure they were walking in midair. Arg, thinking about it's making my head hurt. Just breathe, Kay. You only just got your memory back. You're still confused. Imagine the root cause of your confusion is... I imagine things are all mixed up in your minds because you were at Gourd Lake one minute and then at the top of the building the next. And because you saw the moon in both locations, your minds blended your memories of the two together. Huh? But those are two totally different places. I know I was pretty out of it, but I don't think I could have gotten them confused that easily. There are two key similarities between the scene down by Gourd Lake and you're on the top of the big building. Cherry blossoms and the food stands. Wait, you're right! Those similarities are what caused your memories of both places to overlap. Ah, good morning. The person in the red raincoat wasn't walking in midair. They were walking toward you from across the park. But in your blurry memories, that same sight played out over the viewing platform instead. No way! Who steals a great thief's memories, huh? That's just cheating. No problem. It's just It's just that it's... Then again, you probably can't see that it's a little dark in here. So that's why I have the light on. But thank you for being a part of the stream. Even still, this doesn't answer the question of who attacked Kate in the park. Was it the person in the red raincoat she saw? Beep, beep, beep. Do you hear that? It sounds like it's coming from somewhere. From up in the storeroom. Come on, let's go take a look. Well, Howie! I smell another scoop in the offing. Huh? You're still here. April 6th, 9:53 a.m. 51st floor, storeroom. It's coming from this little gadget here, Mr. Edgeworth. Wait a minute. That can't be. Oh my god, a fire extinguisher. Oh man, that is hilarious. I know what you mean. I've played that game to know where that information's going. Man. Not that case. Not anything but that case. Oh boy. It's coming from this little gadget here, Miss Fredworth. Wait a minute, the walkie-talkie, I know it from somewhere. But where? Ugh, it's transceiver. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. Beep, beep, beep. It's still going. But I'm not good with the technology. Oh, come on, you have to pick up. Fine, I'll do it. Hey, this is Edgeworth. Okay, if you could refrain from answering strange calls for me. Mr. Edgeworth, I presume. I know that voice. Shelley the Killer. Congratulations on another case solved. Yet I can't really say it's been fully resolved, can you? I'm sure you've noticed by now that there was a certain mastermind at work orchestrating the entire incident. Ark, how do you even know about this case? That's not why it's important right now. Let's focus on this certain individual for the time being, shall we? I have indeed been wondering myself if somebody else could have been involved. If not, how are we to explain the piece of evidence that proves so damning to case? No way, an evil mastermind, but who? Who indeed? Perhaps you could share your thoughts? What is the evidence in question that points to somebody else's involvement? Well, he tried to... Okay, so... Here's the thing about... Let's see here. You'll have to go to the first case of this game, but... Basically, he tried to assassinate the president of Xingfa in case 1. That didn't work out, apparently. But he was but he did somehow help us find out the murder of a security guard that was trying to help the president of Xingfa, but he didn't murder anybody in this game. An evil mastermind. That is interesting to think about. The letter K supposedly wrote to the victim. Yeah, I don't remember ever writing that. So who did? Who would prepare such a thing? I know I'm not the only one who would like to know. And how do we know it wasn't you? Now, why would I do such a thing like that, I believe the truth can only fully come to light in a court of law. But since you've had your badge revoked, that is no longer an option. So how will it all end? For one, will be watching from the sidelines with interest. Even knows about my badge? Oh, and one last thing. I do hope you won't betray my trust in you. Now, I bid you farewell. Beep. What the heck did he mean by the case hasn't been fully resolved? Why is he so interested in us anyway? Ah, everything's just one giant ball of mysteries. It seems we've only scratched the surface of this case. But even without my badge, I'm going to carry on doing what I can. Wherever this ends, one thing's for certain. Come what may, I will expose the truth. The end. A turnabout Forsaken. Alright. Now that that's done, I'll look at her suit shipper. Turnabout for the ages. This is the last case I need to beat. For those who don't... Okay, I think I should at least explain at least some certain information about myself. So, when this series came out in the West in 2005, I played the first game in the series. I've been a fan of the series since... Yeah, but this is going to be the turnabout for the ages. So, I've been playing this game for... I've been playing games in this series since they came out in 2007, so... Not 2007, 2005, when the first Ace Attorney game... Oh yeah, I came out... Let's see here. I first came across the series when the first game came out here in the West in 2005, and I played all of the games. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright Justice for All, Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations. Let's see here, in release order. So next would be Ace Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney, Ace Attorney Investigation Miles Edgeworth. Then the huge wait for Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. I think by that time the crossover with Professor Layton was there. So I played that crossover. Let's see here. Then Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. Then the two great Ace Attorney games. So there's that. And then finally oh, hold on a moment. There's something I need to do. And then finally this game. So yeah. Well, this is the last game I need to beat in my collection, since I've beaten every other one. Some of them I haven't streamed yet, but maybe I'll get to them in the future. Back to the gallery. Let's see here. Music collection. Actually, I should... The character compilation thing. Let's see here. Let's see here. What else is there that I can work with? Not these dead guys, of course. Well, one of them is dead. Ah, dang it. I can't get him to say objection. Cameraman. Let's see here. I know there's something else. Let's see here. Why isn't she here in this area? It's like they don't want me to know that there's another person here. Maybe she's somewhere else? Oh, right. Oh, okay. I guess she can't do that. Gregory. That was overstated. Oh, cute little doggy helmets. Teddy. Still awkward to hear that. Aw, Judy. That's what I meant, Judy Bounds. Ah! That's not like my voice at all, but whatever. He was a dork anyways. Yeah, I'm listening to the music here. Only got 46 of these so far, so let's see. Let's see the album. Actually, let's see the all this stuff later on, after I beat this game. Probably imitate spoilers. That looks so cool. Oh, that looks amazing. Gumshoe. Okay. Interesting designs. Dang, that interesting character design change. Either Franziska. Dang, he changed a lot. Interesting design changes. Oh, Emma. Dang. That's interesting to look at. I prefer this hairstyle more. What about you, Kirby? Hi-oh. Yeah, probably not me. Dang. Gavel got really... I wonder if he would have changed better. On second thoughts, I would like this design more. Let's see here. How about you, Raymond? Oh, that looks cool with his finger snapping. Whoa! Raymond holding a gun. Did not see that coming. Oh, that looks so cool. Foreman. Not showing those yet. What's this here? Ace Attorney Investigations 1. Good game. Aw, cute. Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Yes, I love this. Actually, I do want to hear more of this stuff here. Actually, it will probably take some time to listen to the gallery. So, yeah. Let's see what else I can work with. So, yeah. I'll continue on with Case 5 on another time, but yeah. With that being said, Case 5 would be the last case I would ever need to beat out of the entire series class. So yeah. I can't wait to finally defeat that case and finally bring an end to the long-awaited... Here's the thing, I've never beaten... Until this remaster came out, I never beat the original gamer, so... And even when there were emulations, I waited patiently for this game in particular to come out after like 11 years, so I'm near a year or so from when I first played this game, so hold on a moment. What was the first... Let's see here. Got it on me that I actually played the stream and played the first game on my stream, so hold on a moment. Let's see here. It's gonna take me a while to find that. Hey, there we are. Man, it's been over a year since I've played this game. Or at least Ace Attorney, Miles Edgeworth. So yeah, I have fond memories of the series in general, and I can't wait to finally play and defeat Turnabout of the Ages. So, yeah, this has been Dry Oasis. I've been your host, and these two have been my two co-hosts, Kirby and Surlex. Say goodbye, Kirby and Surlex. Bye-o. And as always, you can follow me on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, Discord, or Blue Sky, all under Dry Oasis. I've been your host, and let's see here. For those watching online, I hope that you've all had a great day so far. And if not, I hope the rest of your day is better or tomorrow is better for you. See you later and take care. Bye-bye. Well, sometime soon. And now to end the stream. I guess I will just